So I said I'll talk about has happened today, what happened today in this time period of where I trade. So we might as well as study what CPI is going to do. So normally CPI trades higher throughout the day, and I'm expecting nothing different. So from today in the morning pre-London, I was talking about how we were aiming for this buy side here, together with this inefficiency here. So anybody who studied ICT concepts understand that this is an inefficiency. It's a sell-side imbalance by inefficiency. In itself, it's from this low to this high. On the previous video that I've just put on my YouTube channel, I realized that I mentioned that as a high, but it is a high, but it's the high of this inefficiency and it's the low of this candlestick. So from that low of that candlestick to that level, that range, there's a CB. So while we were trading here, we ran into that CB, we did not trend through it, and then we just ran lower and formed yesterday's low. So today we've had CPI, and I've mentioned a little bit of what CPI normally does. Right now we have around 10 minutes or so to that CPI number is going to come into the marketplace, and I'm going to go back to the 15-minute and we're going to look at relative equal highs way back from yesterday's high, and then we're going to see where it's going to trade into. So we opened up today 0 GMT here, very small new day opening gap, and then price started running higher. I came in front of price and we were trading here. That is the midnight New York open right there at 7 my time, and my eye noticed these two inefficiencies right here. This one here together with this one, because this one we were trading around here and we'd already gone above this high. So my mindset was like, I wanted to see it trade inside that inefficiency and then start moving higher. I didn't really expect this move much, but once it started trading lower, then I drew out this inefficiency here, and I wanted to see the bodies remain on top of that inefficiency and start trade higher. Instead, we went through it. If you look at the week, I was interested in this inefficiency after we ran into it, so I highlighted it and then we started trading higher. So my initial bias was bullish because the momentum from Asia is bullish, and I wanted to see us run into that buy side and offer buy side delivery through that sell side inefficiency. So as we were trading down here, I tried to take along around 600 level, but then it went slow and closed on the lower portion of that inefficiency, and then I exited on that trade. And then while I was talking about it, I wanted to see this inefficiency act as a discount PDRA, and then we're gonna expect higher prices. So we went into these ones here, these two inefficiencies, and look at the bodies, they close inside this one here. At first I was interested in this one, and the bodies closed here, and then we start trading higher. So as we started trading higher, we ran into this one here, we closed on the upper portion of that inefficiency. Then I was bullish and I wanted to see it run into that, and then that buy side and offer buy side through that. So I went in long here and then waited for all this movement here. We went higher, tried to go lower. I was anticipating price not to close on the lower portion of that inefficiency, or rather outside that inefficiency, and then it did not right there, and then we started moving higher. So while it was trading here, I was anticipating price to start trading to that buy side and moving into that inefficiency. So we went higher, and you can see the down close candlestick here came lower, touched the top of that is Asian high, and top of that inefficiency, and then started moving higher. And then we go higher, take that buy side right there at 9:55. That is in London. So London opened around here, right here, and this candlestick here. We opened up London, started trading lower, back into that inefficiency once more, and then started running into that buy side. So as I've mentioned, CPI normally trades higher throughout the day. not going into the index futures open, but from London going into the news that is coming in the next 8 minutes or so. That is 3:30. That is my time, but in the New York session is 8:30, and that news is coming in at 8:30. So I have 8 minutes to go. So I want to talk about these inefficiencies here. The one is highlighted in cadet blue. I talked about it and I wanted to see price go through it and offer buy side. Now that we had sell side delivered here and we did not trade into that inefficiency, price has to offer buy side. And you can see after we had a visit into this inefficiency here at first, we had price start to trade into the lower portion of that inefficiency, and then you can see the reaction there. So buy side was offered there. That's beautiful, right? So after we had this move higher, went on top of that inefficiency, acting as support and trade higher. And where does it trade into? The new week opening gap. That marked in red is my new week opening gap. So we're remaining with 7 minutes, so I'm gonna look at the 15-minute chart and we're gonna determine where CPI is gonna trade into. So normally CPI trades higher throughout the day. So while we're looking at this 15-minute chart, this is yesterday's high, and this is the high from Monday, and this Monday's high is the session high on after we've opened up with the index futures. I think here that is that 4:30. This is the index futures session high. That's the regular trading hours high. The open is here. Try to go lower, and then we had this run higher, made that high there. We did not run into that high, and then we started trading lower. So we went through the new week opening gap right there on Monday, and then the body, as you can see, the body is the closing is the new week opening gap, and then started trading lower for the rest of the day in Monday. So Tuesday we opened up, tried to go low, tried to go higher here. I was looking for higher prices right here, but I mentioned how we went above this high here. I wanted to see price go higher here on Tuesday. That's yesterday. I wanted to see price go into that buy side, but it failed right there, and then started trading lower. This inefficiency that is on the low of this new week opening gap acted as inversion, and then they pushed prices lower. We went through this inefficiency here on the 5-minute, and then went into another inefficiency on the 5-minute, and this inefficiency acted as a discount that pushed price into this initial high. But also we can see we failed to get into that high. So that high is important for price delivery in today's CPI. And I want to see price run into that buy side, as you can see I've highlighted. So I want to be deleting this here because I've already explained what happened here. And now I want to see price go into that buy side with CPI and trade into this level. This level was it's from a daily level. We're gonna see what is that before we trade in CPI. So I'm gonna remove that, remove this and this liquidity point. This is the midnight New York open. This is the midnight New York open here in on Monday, from Monday right there. So we're gonna go into 5 minutes and then we're gonna anticipate that CPI number. And then when it comes out, that will be it for me with this video, and then we'll be done. So we've been trading higher. CPI normal trades higher, and let's just bring this here. And I want to see it run into this high here because we have this high together with this high here and together with that level here on the daily chart. So let's look at what that level is. So that's the buy side that I've mentioned, and we're anticipating price to trade into that. So we're going to look at the 1-hour chart here. That buy side is that high, that Monday's regular trading hours high and yesterday's high. So those are relatively equal highs, and I want to see price run into that. So we're remaining with 3 minutes. We're going to see what we have. So that level here, that level, that is 807.7. The correct level is 807.71. It is the midpoint of this week from last week on Wednesday's high. So that's the target on price, and we're gonna reach into that at best. So that midpoint of that week, the midpoint of 807.71, and I want to see price reach into that. So we have 2 minutes, and we're gonna be anticipating price to run into this buy side here. So CPI is a very fast news, and if you want to be trading CPI, you want to be using limit orders. If you are predicting higher prices like I am, you want to be using limit orders. That level right there is 785, and right now we're trading at 753, and I know we're going to go higher, but it's going to be very difficult if you enter into the market with a buy order. So you're going to be using a limit order. You do something like this here, and then you go into trading, and then you use a buy stop to buy it while it's going higher. So I'm not going to buy it, I'm just going to watch it and make a point. So in the next CPI, I'm definitely going to do it. So that buy side is on the crosshairs together with this level here. So we're meeting with that few seconds. There we go. See that? That's the exactly what CPI does. So if you had a buy limit around that level is 785, let's say you are aiming for 20 points, you had a limit at 765. So you had a limit at 765, it's gonna give you that in a second. So we've ran that buy side just like I've mentioned, and at its best it's gonna trade into that level, that 807.5. Boom, you see right there? That's nice, right? So buy side has been taken. Most importantly, we've traded into this level, and look at what it's doing now, right? So that's really it on showcasing what CPI is gonna do. We've ran into this buy side here that I was expecting, the relative equal highs, and you can see how I've mentioned it, how I've come about where we're trading into, and I think that's it. After we've done that, whatever price is gonna do next, you're just not gonna get it right most of the time. You don't want to be also in open positions, because the volatility is too fast. Let's say you are buying here with the limit order. How long does it take you to get out of that trade before it comes back down, right? Because it's very volatile. So we run buy side, run sell side. Everybody who's been inside this run higher from London. Maybe they pulled their stop to this level here and it has been taken out. So I think I've showcased enough, and I think that's it for me. So until next time, that's tomorrow's price action. We're going to be looking at pre-London. Until then, adios.